Hello, geometry students. Today we're going to talk about section 8.3.2, area and circumference of circles. Before we begin, I want to make it perfectly clear that no baby kangaroos were hurt, harmed, or inconvenienced by the making of this video. Once again, no baby kangaroos were hurt, harmed, or inconvenienced by the making of this video. So to begin this video, let's review some things we already know. If we have two similar shapes, like these two rectangles right here, we have an original shape, this one here, and we have a new shape, this one over here. So our original and our new shape are similar, okay? If we know the perimeter of the original shape, we can find the new perimeter by multiplying it with the scale factor. Likewise, if we know one of the side lengths, we can find the corresponding side lengths by multiplying by the scale factor. So remember that if you have two similar shapes, if you multiply by the scale factor, you can get the new perimeter or the new side lengths of the shape that you want. Likewise, if we know the area of the original shape and we want to know the area of the new shape, all we have to do is multiply by the scale factor squared. The scale factor squared is called the area factor. So in this case, if I know what the original area is and I want to know what the new area is, I multiply by r squared. R is the scale factor and r squared is the area factor. Now, these are related only if the shapes are similar, okay? If I know that the shapes are similar, I can find the new perimeter and side lengths by multiplying my originals by the scale factor. If I know the original area and I want to know the new area, I multiply by the area factor, which is simply the scale factor squared. Now, let's apply this to circles. Some things you should know before we begin. Each and every circle is similar. There is no other difference between them. They are similar. No matter what the size is, no matter how big they get, all circles are similar. And I want to emphasize that because it's very important. All circles are similar. 2, the area of a circle with a radius of 1 is pi. So if you have a circle and the radius is 1, the area is going to be pi, okay? So once again, if you have a circle and the radius is 1, the area of this circle is going to be pi. Number 3, the circumference of a circle with a radius of 1 is 2 pi. Now, for those of you that might not remember from middle school, circumference is just a fancy name for perimeter. We only use it when we're talking about circles. So really, circumference just means perimeter. Thus, if we have a circle with a radius of 1, the circumference is 2 pi. And once again, what I mean by that is the distance around the circle, the perimeter, is 2 pi. Once again, circumference equals perimeter of a circle. Okay, So, now we know some interesting tidbits about circles. They're always similar. The area of a circle with a radius of 1 is pi. The circumference of a circle with a radius of 1 is 2 pi. Okay? Next, if we have two circles, for example, this one over here with a 1 and this one over here with a 5, if all circles are similar, right? If all circles are similar, right away I can say this. I know that the circumference of this one is 2 pi. 2 pi. And I know that the area of this one is pi. Why? Because it has a radius of 1. If I look at the next circle, I want to know what the circumference of the new circle is. And I want to know what the area of the new circle is. Remember from the last couple of lessons that if I want to know what the new perimeter is and I have an original perimeter, I multiply by the scale factor. So circumference is the same as perimeter. If I want to know what the new perimeter is, if I want to know what the new circumference is, I don't know right now, but I want to. All I have to do is multiply by r. Once again, we're multiplying by r because it's the scale factor, okay? It's the scale factor, and circumference is the same as perimeter. So if you're confused with what I'm saying right now, go back to the start of this video and look at my example regarding rectangles. That should help you out. Likewise, if I want to know what the area is of the new circle, I multiply by r squared, okay? So as you can see, if all circles are similar and I have a relationship between the circumferences using the scale factor and a relationship between the areas using the area factor, I can determine something really special. What I can learn is this. The circumference of any circle is going to be 2 pi r. The area of any circle is going to be pi r squared. As you can see, the circumference equation, the perimeter equation for a circle, comes from this. The area equation for a circle comes from this. So this works for any circle because all circles are similar. So what I will leave you with here is this, okay? If I want to know the area of a circle, if I want to know this, the equation is going to be area equals pi r squared. Why does this work? Well, remember that pi was our original area. It's the area of the circle with the 1, okay? Then we multiplied by r squared. We multiplied by r squared. The r squared is the area factor. If we multiply the original area times the area factor, we get dun 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 dun, the new area. New area. okay? And this is exactly the same thing that we were talking about here, over here. If we know the original area and we multiply by the area factor, we get the new area. It works exactly the same way for circles. The only difference being that we're using pi and 2 pi as our original area and original perimeter, which we're calling circumference. The same is true, okay, if we're talking about circumference. Let's take a look at that. If we want to know the circumference of any circle, circumference of a circle, we can use the equation circumference equals 2 pi r. Why does this work? Because 2 pi was our original circumference. R was our scale factor. And as we know from over here, if we take the perimeter or the side lengths of an original shape multiplied by a scale factor of r, we can get the perimeter or side lengths of the new shape. It's exactly the same here. We have our original circumference, we multiply by a scale factor, which is going to result in the new circumference. So these equations will work for any circle. We have the area of a circle is pi r squared. The circumference of a circle is 2 pi r. Okay? You really want to memorize these. It will help you a lot on your state exams and in the future. Okay? Area is pi r squared. Circumference is 2 pi r. Okay? Now, I'm going to give you a couple of quick problems. Here's your first one, okay? See if you're really understanding this. Practice. You have a circle with a radius of 6. What I want you to do is find the area and circumference. So go ahead and pause the video, give it a shot, and resume when you're ready. Okay, so in order to approach this problem, okay, we can use our equation. We know that the area of a circle is pi r squared. We know that r, in this case, is 6. So we go pi 6 squared, which is 36 pi. You could leave it like this and it would be perfectly okay. You could just leave it as 36 pi. Okay? Now, for the circumference, the equation was different. The circumference equation was 2 pi r. So in this case, we have 2 pi times 6, which equals 12 pi, and you would be done. So the answer for this is 36 pi for the area and 12 pi for the circumference. Let's give you one more problem. Let's say that you had a circle that looked like this. You were given the line all the way across, and I told you that this whole length was 20. Now, for those of you unfamiliar with the whole length across a circle, this is called the diameter, okay? So when the line goes all the way across, we're talking about diameter. So this whole line right here this whole line, is the diameter. What I want is the radius, and the radius is half the diameter. So I want this length right here, okay? This is the radius. So, if I give you a circle that looks like this, and I tell you that the diameter is 20, using that knowledge, find the area and circumference. Pause the video, try it yourself, resume when you're ready. Okay, so like I was saying earlier, if the line goes all the way across like this, we're talking about the diameter, okay? For our equations, one of our equations is 2 pi r, area equals pi r squared, and the other equation is circumference equals 2 pi r. Both of these use r in the equation. What we're given here in the circle picture is d. D is diameter. It means the line goes all the way across. The radius then is half the diameter, okay? It's half the diameter. The radius is not the whole length, it's just half of it, okay? This half right here in red. So in this case, it would be 20 divided by 2, which equals 10. Then, once we have our r, we can plug it into our equations and find the area and the circumference. So the area in this case would be area equals pi 10 squared, which would be 100 pi. And our circumference would be 2 pi 10 or 20 pi. And you would be done. 100 pi, 20 pi. Okay? All right, so that's it for today. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments. Feel free to leave them in the comment box or the question box. And we'll move forward with this in coming classes with a lot more practice. Have a good day, and thanks for watching.